Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I Man here from the Block Runner, and today we're going to be talking about ChainGuardians.
Yep, the next big Polkastarter. Well, not the next one, but it's a looming incoming one.
Yeah.
So we've covered Polkastarter in the past a few times. You know, not just the platform itself, but some of their IDOs too. We hit up on Public Mint, I think was our most recent one.
Yeah, Public Mint, yeah.
But we definitely honed in on the concept of IDOs becoming the next big, almost like industry standard. You know, I mean, for crypto project, and we were seeing more and more of these incubation platforms, launchpad platforms popping up.
Yeah.
You know, you got DuckDAO starting there. It's called DuckStarter.
Yep.
I think Paid Network has their own now. They almost every week you see a new one. So
Damn.
yeah,
Paid Network?
yeah,
Wow.
it's an emerging trend for sure. I don't even know if you call it emerging anymore.
Yeah.
It's
more
here.
like industry standard.
It's industry standard at this
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to see, and this one's catching our eyes for sure, especially after that Avagachi experience. You know, gaming
Yes.
NFTs are freaking hot, dude.
Yeah, I think it's a really good way to fund a project is
Yeah.
dropping NFTs instead of dropping a token. In this case, it's a token, but they're also dropping NFTs as well. So what is ChainGuardians? So essentially it's a turn-based game with NFTs, and what's cool about it is that they're attaching a hash rate to each NFT.
Yeah. See, that's a little bonkers.
Yeah.
That's so crazy to think about.
So it's only a gaming, it's sort of like a gaming mechanic for their NFTs, so that people collect these NFTs and they have like a dual use case, right? For gaming, but also for
earning.
Yeah. And so the thing that you're earning are CGC tokens, which are in-game tokens, which can be converted to actually ERC20 tokens in CGG tokens. So,
which is the one that's launching next week, right, on
Yeah.
Polkastarter?
yeah. So this
Let's take a look at the pool.
Yeah. Actually, this just opens up their website, but
So they're looking 216,000 total raise, which is a bump. Apparently, they announced here recently that there's been so much demand for the whitelisting process on Polkastarter that they just doubled the pool amount.
yeah, this was just wait. Today's Wednesday. That was today. The announcement was today, I think.
It was either today. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It happened just now.
Yeah. Today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's good news. You know, I think from what I've heard, you know, this is one of the first, one of the few times this happens on Polkastarter where a team, you know, brings in more flexibility to onboard more, you know, access to the token launch.
Yeah, so it's increasing to a total pool of 216,000. And so let's explain this. I think we might have explained it in the past, but dropping a token on Polkastarter and raising like 200K or 400K,
Yeah.
400K is not enough to sustain a project, right? I think that should be kind of clear. It may not be to a lot of people who don't really understand how much it costs to run something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so what projects do is they use these IDO platforms like Polkastarter to for a marketing standpoint, like a marketing strategy.
Yeah.
And so they raise like 200K, 400K, whatever it is, and all that conversion happens in a few minutes, and it's sort of like a mechanism to increase the level of interest for people getting into the space.
Yeah, it gives a lot of traction out the gate for a project like this, because you know the Polkastarter platform itself it's an eyeball aggregator.
Yeah,
that's the point of the platform and the ecosystem. You know, almost every day they're launching new IDOs, so
yes,
it should become part of everyone's regular crypto. What's the word?
Hygiene.
Exactly, daily hygiene. Routine. Check in on the IDO platforms. What's coming up?
Yeah.
And so, it's important to leverage that. And like I said, this project's striking at a really opportune times where NFTs are really popular.
Yeah. So talk about your Avagachi experience and why you think this is a really big deal for any gaming platform to get onto this.
Yeah,
train.
it's hitting on a new trend, or adding on to it. Where, I mean, NFT industry has mostly been static NFTs. You know, JPEGs, GIFs, whatever you want to call them, that don't really have much function to them other than collector value and perceived value, whatever that is. And maybe some of them look really cool, aesthetic value, artistry, you know what I mean? But there's a new emergence, a new sector that we like to call utility NFTs, you know, useful,
functional NFTs.
Yeah, useful content that's not only fun to look at, but they do things. They grant you access to things. They generate a yield.
Yeah.
You know, there's a whole different range of potential utility that an NFT can kind of like encapsulate, but we're just at the very beginning of like figuring out, you know, what to do.
Yeah.
And this is a good example. Like they're incorporating game NFTs to, you know, bring in that collector aspect. Like you, as a gamer, you always want the hottest loot.
Yes.
You want to flex on all your other gamers. Like, bro, like check out this sword. Like you suck.
Yeah.
You know, like I have this hot ass item. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But on top of that, this thing doesn't just look cool. Like, you know, it could potentially generate me some type of yield or some kind of return, some revenue. You know what I mean? As a gamer, like what? You know, so this is definitely an emerging aspect to NFTs that I think a lot of the market hasn't really caught on to yet.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's definitely coming. You know?
Yeah, and so the exact opposite of this style of NFTs are the standard PNGs and GIFs, which have been going for like, you know, anywhere from hundreds of thousands to millions of bucks.
Exactly, because that's where the market awareness is currently.
Right.
Because it's easier to understand.
Yeah.
You know, like I see picture, I like picture, I buy picture. You know, it's literally that simple. There's not much, you know, you don't have to extrapolate much further than that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain layer to it because if you see like a LeBron dunk, that's worth more than like a no-name like basketball player dunking, right? And then if you if you see like a very famous artist like Ferocious or Beeple, when they drop something, that's when people actually pay attention just because they have a lot backing them up.
Yeah, and then the market activity speaks for itself at this point, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. There's like true FOMO happening. Like the thing that's so amazing about these NFTs is they're starting to display similar behavior traits to like tokens, crypto tokens. That's what I kind of saw with the Avagachi launch.
Yeah.
If you were lucky enough, fortunate enough to get in on that, like on these Avagachi drops, which there was 10,000 portals for sale, and they sold out in like a minute.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
But there was more than 10,000 people in their Discord when this drop happened.
Yeah, you and I had different experiences too.
Yeah.
I couldn't get any, and then
I got some.
You got a handful.
But if you were fortunate enough to be that small sector of people that got their hands on some of these portals, it's the equivalent of being able to get into a Polkastarter pool or some kind of ICO, right? Like you were lucky.
Yeah.
You're lucky to get in. And because of that, the NFT token itself appreciated almost 10x instantly as soon as it hit the secondary market.
Yeah.
Which is, what does that? ICOs do that.
That's right.
IDOs
That's
do that. And it's like, what? We're seeing NFTs do that too.
Yeah.
Like it's opening a whole new like value layer to NFTs.
This brings up a good point that we were talking about is what are the regulatory differences between buying a token versus buying an NFT? Because think about it. When you're buying an NFT like ChainGuardians or Avagachis, they have some functional aspect to them. Yeah. Right? There's a gameplay element. You're buying...
They're useful.
They're useful.
Yeah.
There's a
real undisputable utility.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a token, it's debatable.
Yeah, you could debate that for sure.
and the industry is kind of like formulated and like really clung to the idea of governance tokens for that very reason.
Yeah, for that reason, exactly.
Like now it's less debatable. Like, okay, you need these tokens to govern like an ecosystem.
Yeah, these are not speculative tokens.
Yeah,
they're for voting on our protocol.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what projects like to say, and for good reason, because it's just a nightmare to kind of navigate a space that has no regulatory guidance.
True,
especially in the United States.
So
now you have the equivalent functionality of raising funds through an NFT that has function, right? A game NFT.
And again, they behave almost identical, if not better, than crypto tokens do. So
yeah, exactly. They go equally as fast, and you can put any price on the token that you want, and people will just snap it up because there's a speculative nature to it, and besides the fact that it has function as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's a kind of interesting conversation. I'd like to be a fly on the wall when the regulatory aspects come in and start evaluating this stuff.
See, but they got to catch up with DeFi and shit first.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
They got a long way before we get to NFTs.
To NFTs, like before they look at like, oh, these are cute. Like, oh, shit, we should be regulating these. Like, you know, before
What do you mean you can stake Aave tokens in your Avagachi? Like, what is that?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we are integrating DeFi into NFTs now. So, yeah, you're now like every user is like, you know, generating taxable
income.
Yeah,
that's
like,
true.
Like, oh snap,
that's true.
It's like, where are we headed with this? Like, it's getting pretty bonkers, dude. But awesome at the same time. But That's what we do, man. We always see these trends, and we're always like a little like skeptical in the sense that it's just so good to be true.
Yeah,
In
that
a lot of senses.
we feel like the party's always gonna pop.
Like any day
it's
now.
It's gonna rain. Yeah.
Yeah, because like what's being created here is just too impactful.
It is.
You know,
It is. Everybody's becoming their own banks.
their own banks and
You can start yielding more than 0.01% on your savings account,
or just by playing a game. If you
or by
own,
playing a game. Yeah.
if you own assets. So let's expand on that with ChainGuardians. Like, so the what are the assets itself?
Okay, so let me go back to the homepage here. So we have an example here is Seth Butler.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is that each kind of asset is associated to a coin type. So
they have rarity levels and whatnot, and total lore.
yeah,
There's actually some deep lore into this game, which is pretty cool. You know, gamers love and appreciate lore.
yeah. And so we have a little bit of history with this team, or at least a single team member, Robbie, and he's extremely good at writing this lore. And so we do know some of the founders, and but this is interesting that have so many investors, right? And they're connected to so many. Like this is like from a speculator standpoint, like a dream. Yeah. Like you see this Polkastarter drop, and you see like all these investors, and they're all connected and everything. It's like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, whenever you scroll down to the bottom, and I saw something called, what is it called, Cryptoverse Alliance. It's very reminiscent of what we see in DeFi Alliance, or Ethereum Alliance. These things kind of happen, and I think we're at the very beginning stages where like the gaming industry and the NFT sector kind of figure out how to
market themselves
and how to interoperate
like
with one another.
Yeah,
and all kinds of shit's going on, dude.
Yeah. So going back to the assets, we thought this was like one of the more interesting aspects. So each NFT is going to be unique to itself, right? But the hash rate table here is like the number one of this NFT has a hash rate of 1,400.
Yeah, if you don't know, what's a hash rate? Like, why is that relevant?
So,
if you're a gamer, you never heard of hash rate. Like, what is that?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So hash rate is the rate at which your computer can generate a hash to compare to a solution on like a Bitcoin block.
Yeah.
And so when Bitcoin does its mining, it has to figure out the correct hash in order for that block to be appended to the previous block.
Okay.
So that's a lot of words to say.
Yeah.
Just to say.
It's like mining power.
Yeah, it is. It is
the shortened version.
It's the power required to join two blocks together. That's the hash rate.
So the higher the hash rate, the better. Means the more Bitcoin rewards.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So if you have the first mint here, you have a higher hash rate than the second mint. So this adds to the speculative nature of this particular character.
Now, the distribution of most of these characters, if I'm correct, I think already happened. Like there was a pre-sale for these NFTs, correct? I think a year or two ago.
Yes.
2019.
Yeah.
But they're available on OpenSea.
Yeah.
And once we dig into the white paper, you'll see why there's like some like undervalued nature to them, even though they've been out for like a year or so. They're largely undiscovered in comparison to like, all these other NFTs we've been talking about, the static ones.
Right.
Like I said, the market's not aware of yield potential NFTs, which is exactly what this is. You know? If you're looking for these captain boys out there in OpenSea, these are like the freaking, it's like owning an ant miner, Yeah. The most powerful
Early
Bitcoin
on.
mining machine.
Yeah.
So speaking as a speculator here, it's not a bad idea to kind of like go into the market if you really believe in this game concept, because the whole mining and yielding aspect hasn't even been dropped yet.
Yeah.
So not a bad idea to load up on hardware, NFT digital hardware, and in preparation of that.
No, absolutely. And so let me see.
So let's check out the white paper, like where it explains the whole mining mechanic.
So going back to NFT point of sale, I got lost into the wrong space here.
Yeah.
Proof of stake. NFT proof of stake mining. So introducing the first ever NFT mining through proof of stake, where you can put your NFTs to work to yield income. At ChainGuardians, we're the first project to introduce NFT mining, where popular and rare NFTs can be deployed to mine Chain Guardian coin, CGC, the official game currency of Chain Guardians.
So that's the non-crypto coin, correct?
That's the non-crypto coin.
Okay.
So this is like the off-chain coin that you can move on-chain with CGG.
So you accumulate these off-chain currencies too, and then you cash in essentially.
Yeah.
You exchange them for the on-chain currency.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it doesn't make sense to have everything on-chain, and that's why they created the CGC. But at any point, I mean, you can hear the tokenomics where you can actually convert CGC to CGG. Right? This is the ERC20.
Yeah, and the CGG token itself has even more application to it. It's like all these different connections, liquidity rewards.
Yeah.
Obviously, governance, weight, and like access, and DeFi stake to farm. So if you stake these tokens, you can earn rare NFTs and partner tokens.
That's right. So imagine you stake this coin, and you get NFTs that allow you to
continue to mine in-game currency.
CGC, which gives you CGG. So there's a good tokenomics model that's sort of self-supporting.
Yeah,
and it's a really good design. I mean,
it's really like incentivizes you just to keep grinding, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Play to earn. It's another emerging sector that's really. I mean, it's a great concept currently, and it's a beautiful vision of like a universe or like an alternate reality in the sense where like all gamers aren't just kind of like burning time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we all love to game, right? Like I spent the majority of my life gaming, but
pretty soon this type of game mechanic will be in every single mobile app game in the future.
Yeah, we're calling it now, dude. Like these are the beginning like models that future games are going to have to adopt to keep their user bases like interested.
Yeah, because the user base eventually is going to mature, and they're going to be like, I'm not going to play a game for free. I'm going to play a game to earn.
Yeah, like dude, why would I play like
Flappy Bird?
Yeah, Flappy Bird. I don't know, dude. That's nobody plays Flappy Bird. What the? Do people still play Flappy Bird? I don't know.
For the memes, maybe.
Okay. Well, like, why would I play even like a AAA game like Call of Duty? I'm not ranking. I mean, it's a fun game, but I mean, come on, man. I want to make some money at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I could play like
trade time for money or trade time for nothing. Like what? Those are your choices.
Yeah, but it just what's the word? Diversify your time a little bit.
Yeah.
You can spend a couple hours a day playing Call of Duty because you just really love
for
the game.
entertainment. Yeah,
and then these games will be entertaining too, but at the same time you're earning. So you can incorporate these play to earn games into your like gamer, routine of the day.
Yeah,
why the hell not?
So yeah, all the links will be in the description. There's a lot of stuff to read here. They have the tokenomics split and the release schedule.
Yeah, it's like a 5-year vested schedule, right?
Yeah.
For all players, essentially, it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, they have community members, public sale, early supporters, team and advisors, and ecosystem fund. So,
okay, very good. Big investors.
The other thing we didn't talk about is it's on Elrond.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to make a video on Elrond specifically. Just
probably
to get
tomorrow.
Just to get into the tech. And
we've been meaning to. Like, we made one on Avalanche yesterday. Elrond and Avalanche are like, like best bros. Like they always like hang out together. You know what I mean? But we got to do a little bit more investigation into like the consensus models and whatnot differences. But we know the community is growing. There's a lot of interest in these, these alternate blockchain silos that are emerging. So
look at that, $7 to $137, dude.
Yeah, bonkers.
Yeah,
and it looks like it's gearing up for another leg up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, we'll cover that tomorrow. It's a good segue because, this game is leveraging Elrond.
Yeah.
All
right, guys, that's the video for today. Hope you enjoyed and learned a little bit about Chain Guardians. The Polkastarter thing drops in 7 days from March 3rd. And so keep an eye on that. Follow us on Twitter at The Block Runner and also at MetaZone.io. Like, subscribe, do all those things, and we will see you in the next video.
Peace.